So hello everyone, and my name is Bok Jum. I'm from Kean University, and also one of the co-chairs of International Cooperation Committee of CAPA. So we plan to President Shi Kyung-sung to moderate this session, but due to conflicting schedule, I will lead this session, and with our two distinguished panelists. The good part of this one, each panelist will have more time to share their thoughts because they came from far away to attend this session. So this session will bring the ideas about how you reimagine the public sector, and our distinguished speakers that includes Professor Shufang Ju from Tsinghua University. Yes. He's also president of AAPA, Asian Association for Public Administration. And I also invite our next presenter and also panelist, and Dr. Gideon Murakumura. He is the current president of section on African public administration. So this session, as I said, is more about practical discussion, what we could do together as an association or sections. When we discussed that, the prior section of this session, I know some of the audience is still sitting. Thank you very much for continuing to staying here with us. So we discussed a lot in prior session with Roger Merbella and also the James Abjaki, and also we discussed the Chris. So that would ask a lot of challenges and what we are facing, but this session will bring more solutions on a section level and association level. That's why I brought a lot of leaders in different associations and sections. So this session will ask a couple of questions, and they're focusing on what they see as priorities in collaboration, for example, and then will lead to what role of state in this in the time of disruption or any change in transformation. So this time, and then we'll ask their solutions, what they would suggest, and also on behalf of their section, also association, what they could do and then what they suggest. So audience, please don't stay as just passive. I just invite you to provide your suggestions. We will try to give more time to our audience. And also, I see colleagues from France, for example, and although we didn't include our European colleagues, for AirMap colleagues, if you see the view from the European view, please feel free to provide your suggestions as well. So without further ado, I'll ask the first question, is that what themes and collaborative priorities you should see the associations and sections should advance in response to emerging public sector challenges. So I'll give the floor to Professor Shufang Chu.
Okay, thank you, Bok. First of all, this is my honor to be invited by the CAPA, which is a very important association for public administration in Asia. Today, I'm representing the Asian Association for Public Administration, and also I'm from China and from Tsinghua University. So I think the question is very important because the CAPA, this conference invited several presidents or chairpersons of associations for public administration in different regions. So I think now the Global Public Administration Association should do a lot of things for collaborations and also maybe prioritize very important topics. As we are in Asia, and we also in this panel, we have a professor from Africa. So I think first of all, I think we should champion inclusiveness and also like amplify the global South theories for the perspective of public administration. So currently we know that the production of public administration knowledge has historically being dominated by Western institutions. So for associations from global south, like Asia, like Africa, we are committed to creating a more balanced intellectual ecosystem from Asia, Africa, Latin America experiences to inform theories and experiences equally. This means actually recruiting editors and keynote speakers and also research collaborations from underrepresented regions and ensuring that our conferences and publications reflect our new ideas on behalf of Global South. Maybe this is the most important thing for us. But specifically, we can collaborate or promote some ideas or themes for public administration associations. For example, the digital and artificial intelligence governance. This is no longer an optional topic. This is essential for how public services will be delivered in the coming decade. We have seen rapid digitalization across Asia and Africa, yet the regulation and the ethical framework lag behind. Associations like us must collaborate to develop context-sensitive guidance for AI use in government, ensuring that digital decision-making does not entrench bias and exclusive, marginalized communities. AAP is already working with national chapters to map AI readiness across Asia countries, and also we are ready to exploring the great value to extending this effort to our friends Africa and Latin America through joint research and policy dialogue. The third one is, of course, for the human development in the future, like climate change and also sustainable development goals. This topic is also very important theme. The public administration scholarship move beyond the national boundaries. Our associations can serve as platforms for sharing adaptation strategies from disaster resilient infrastructure in coastal cities or to broad joint management system in dry regions. And by integrating SDG targets into acceleration, some kind of our curriculum design, we can prepare future public managers who think in terms of our Earth, healthy and rather than narrow administrative efficiency. I think the fourth one, maybe throughout the world, now the trust, especially according to surveys around the world, the citizens' trust to each government are declining, and also not only for trust to government and media and experts, the trust are declining. So associations should sponsor comparative studies on trust dynamics and focusing on how transparency, citizen engagement, and service quality interact in different cultural and political contexts. We can then distill these findings into actionable tools for policymakers. So finally, I think these several themes are not exhaustive, but we can offer a concrete agenda for collaborations for our global public administration associations. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Shifang Chu, and it was very comprehensive insights from his leadership, also teaching and experience. Thank you very much. I'll give the floor to the Gideon.
Thank you. But before I forget, I want to make sure I make my statement. The future of public administration depends on building broader intellectual foundations. First, stronger global partnerships and intentional intergenerational leadership. Three key points. During my discussion, I will be alluding to all the three that I just mentioned. As far as the theme for collaboration in priorities, my first suggestion will be to rebuild public trust. The previous session we discussed about how trust is no longer there. So how do we rebuild public trust? Around the world, trust in institutions is declining. Public administration must help governments become more transparent, responsive, and accountable. When those three criteria are taken care of, people will start to think again about the value of what government can do for them. Second priority will be governing technological transformation. A few minutes ago, we were discussing about the digital divide. Who is helping the people to bridge the gap? There's that divide, especially with the current AI, digital governance, cybersecurity, and data ethics will define public administration. In other words, we need to make sure we are on top of this. Governing technological transformation is the requirement if we want to make sure we fulfill our assignments. Third priority will be strengthening resilience. A couple of years ago, we have the issue of COVID. Climate change, pandemics, migration, and geopolitical instability require resilient governance systems. Do we have those systems in place yet? Again, that's something that we need to address as public administrators. Fourth priorities will be broadening the discipline's intellectual foundation. It makes sense if we think about building a discipline on one pillar, as opposed to having more pillars to strengthen the discipline. So broadening will be another issue that needs to be taken care of. We can use some learning from Europe, from Asia, from Africa, but to make sure we are not building on one pillar. The fifth priority for me will be developing the next generation. I see the value of making sure we engage the emerging students, emerging scholars or doctoral students to make sure we mentor them so that they will take over at the right time. So the future of public administration will depend not only on what we study, but also on whose knowledge we include and whom we prepare to lead. Thank you.
Thank you, Gideon Mudakumura. Thank you to both panelists brought their experience from different continents, of course, but see some commonality they raised, including definitely trust and technological transformation, of course, but at the same time, that human side of what you see in the generation component, and also multi-pillars of foundation. So they all brought different topics, and actually consistent with the prior session we brought from prior session here in the same room. So we're continuing this question, but now we are focusing slightly just to the state, role of states. So given a lot of challenges you're facing here in the public sector, how would you see the role of state as a strategic decision maker? Do you see the role of state? And then for that role, what roles is associations or sections should support? Do you see any contribution from our sections association for the state's role? But this time I may give from Gideon first. Thank you.
Thank you. The strategic state is neither a passive observer nor an over-centralized controller. The strategic state should, 5 points, anticipate emerging challenges. We used to teach about the concept of being proactive as opposed to being reactive. We need to be scanners of the environment, knowing what's coming in to prepare ahead. Otherwise, we'll be run over. Second, we need to build long-term national capacity. Long-term, not short-term. Third, protect democratic value and public trust. It was also emphasized a few minutes ago, but the issue is, again, how do we go about that? How do we do it? Fourth, coordinate across sector and stakeholders. We used to teach about the concept of public-private partnership to engage all key players, make sure we achieve something. We cannot expect that the state will solve all the problems by itself. Lastly, we need to promote innovation while safeguarding accountability, transparency, and responsiveness. It's a key criteria. It's okay to be innovative and creative, but if whatever we are doing is not accountable to the public first and foremost, and leaders also transparent, there is so many issues we can resolve if we focus on making sure what we do is transparent, is responsive, and accountable. Accountability is a key issue. Academic association must serve as what? Knowledge producers. Think about this. Whose reality counts? This reminds me of the book I read back in graduate school by Robert Chambers. Some of you may remember Robert Chambers is from the UK. Which kind of knowledge are we producing? Head knowledge or just knowledge that can be lead to applied solutions? Think about that. Generating evidence-based research is good. It can solve people's problem. Again, if you go back to read the book by Charles Lindblom back then, and another guy from Northern Europe, they talked about how social scientists have failed to solve social problems. What is it that we can do now to make sure we engage policy beneficiaries to ensure that we understand their reality and solve them? We used to think about this concept of expert approach. I know I have a PhD, I can solve your problems, but I don't know anything about the local context. Coming from Africa, we used to have experts from Europe, from US. They come, tell us, do so and so and so. But they don't know anything about what we go through. Instead of asking us, people in the field, people in the communities, what the issues are and how they can be resolved. I'll never forget one of my professors used to tell us, even though we experience problems, we are not qualified as you are, but we can come up with solutions to the problems if we are engaged in the discussion. Back to what I was discussing a few minutes ago about participatory action research. It makes a big difference. Listening to the people and engaging them in the area of designing the solution. That can be a solution to the problem. Another issue I want to address also is the critical friends. Critical friends. If you may recall the concept of principal agent theory. Principal hire an agent with the assumption that the agent knows more than the principal. That's basically the basics of the theory. But the agent may have different goals. How do you solve that? That's where, again, we need to make sure, as we train public administrators, we ensure that we are making them to support governments while maintaining intellectual independence. That's very important. Conveners too, bringing scholars, practitioners, civil society, and policymakers together. Why? To share the knowledge. This conference, for instance, if we bring people from different backgrounds and those people from the community leaders, those who may be willing to share their view on issues, we can come up with concrete solutions. Talent developers, preparing future leaders, back to using the youth, the young scholars, the doctoral students, to engage them early on in the area of identifying the problems and how problems could be solved. So the strategic state requires strategic scholarship, and strategic scholarship requires strong academic associations. That's why the AAPA or SAPA or other kappa, if we all collaborate on what we need to accomplish as sections, we can really achieve more. Back to the concept of team. Team stand for together, everyone achieves what? Achieves more. So let's think about collaborating as associations to solve people's problems.
Thank you. So, Professor Shpangchu?
Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, this is a very important question during the current the age, especially the geopolitical tension and also climate change and also like technological upgrade. But we first should define or understand that what is the strategic state, this title of this panel. So this does not mean a return to central planning. Of course, during the human histories, during the like emergence stage, some countries could be more centralized and more central planning, not only for like Americans in the 1929 and also other countries. Rather, it is mean that state should exercise foresight, coordinate long-term investment, and steering social transformation while respecting market dynamics and civil society agencies. So, for example, many Asian states have successfully used industry policies and the digital identity system to leapfrog development handles. And but these successful successes also brings risks of data security and like digital exclusion. So the strategic state means that they must balance efficiency with equity, security with openness, and short-term responsiveness with long-term resilience. So this is what we can define the strategic state. And our academic associations have several responsibilities in supporting such kind of state. First, we can act as knowledge partners, producing rigorous and relevant policy research for the governments and and evaluate their like intervention and policies. So this requires moving beyond the descriptive case studies toward the predictable models and implementation science and also comparative studies. The second, we serve as a capacity builder for redesigning public administration curricula to equip future leaders with skills in data society and also cross-sectoral collaborations for these practitioners. Like AAPA has already initiated a series of workshops for mid-career civil servants in Southeast Asia, and we plan to expand these like African partners. And third, we must uphold our accountability function for providing an independent forum for debating state strategies, their costs, benefits, and unintended consequences. This is not about partnership. This is about intellectual honesty. We should challenge policies that lack evidence. We should celebrate this demonstration that the result of the positive result of the policy impact. So we have three functions for the real state Thank you.
Thank you very much, two of you, in bringing the role of strategic states. But that one, quite they're common to both scholars and from different continents. They also emphasize the balance as well, efficiency and equity. That's actually resonate with this conference theme, which actually our president, also our members resonated. Growth based on efficiency, but also the equity. And in the time of the disruption what we are facing. So these actually both of them really well combined those ideas. Because with time is limited, I will get the last question and then I would like to open the floor to all audience. So next question is more about intercontinental collaboration. So that's why we brought from Asia and Africa, but it's but we don't want to exclude other continents because I'm a scholar of the US. So I was invited originally as a section of ASPA, Korean section of ASPA. So I want to invite also European colleagues as well, and a lot of scholars from North America, United States. Please feel free to share your insights about the final question I'm asking. So what you see that intercontinental collaboration and then how these associations do actual practical activities or project and collaborations. If you have any examples you want to share, please share from your associations or your experience. This time I'll go back again, Shifang, Professor Chu.
Okay.
Right. Yes.
So the collaborations across continents, it's very important. So global collaborations requires more moving from not only for the conferences. Of course, the conferences is the platform for collaboration, and also the institutional infrastructure. I think first we should deepen existing regional partnerships. For example, AAPA, Asian Association for Publication, we have already explored and established some partnerships with Europa and AJPA, and also African section for ASPA. So maybe a formal collaborations framework could be including maybe one thing is rotating joint annual sessions, and we can invite leaders of associations to come and to host the sections and also panels at different annual conferences, and also webinars for the shared themes, some topics, including digital services delivery and also anti-corruption reforms. Second, we can establish global South public administration research networks for linking university, schools and departments, think tanks, and also government training institutions in Asia, Africa, and all other global South countries. The networks can facilitate collaborative research projects, and also we would like to build a network for the scholars, young scholars, to serve as visiting scholars, to joint research projects for comparative studies for their early age researchers, especially for underrepresented countries. The third one, we can invest scholar and practitioner mobility. We can revolving door some. So this short-term visit, we can create fellowship programs for Asia scholars to spend maybe several months or one semester to real and practitioners, and vice versa. We can create some positions for visiting provisions for the practitioners for visiting universities. This exchange our ideas in practical and academic, and to enhance this mutual understanding for the theory and the practice. And AAPA could pilot these kind of partnership institutions, and investing small grants for international money donors, and also membership fees. Finally, we can leverage digital platforms, for example, like high quality journals and training materials to poster the cross-continental researchers for different schools and scholars. And also we can use MOOCs with different languages. So this is very important. So I think networks and mobility and open access resources can transform our collaborations across continents. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's jump to, and then I'll give floor to Mr. Kumura. Thank you.
Thank you. How can global academic collaboration be strengthened? First, we need to move beyond occasional conferences toward permanent collaboration structures. We need to make sure we build strong institutional partnerships. That's should be my first priorities. Association to association collaboration among, for instance, SAPA, APA, CAPA, and others. That will strengthen our collaboration. Second, regional research collaboratives. Joint teams studying common challenges across region and sharing the findings. Think about what we do in Africa and what East Asia is doing, other parts of the world are doing, exchanging the findings, and see how what we find effective could be contextualized in your region. Third, intergenerational networks. Having the young scholars from China, from Korea, from Africa to exchange, to meet, discuss, that will be also something that we need to focus on to strengthen the collaboration. I want to also talk about this idea of connecting senior scholars with doctoral students and early career professionals. So we talk about most of the time about succession planning. How are we planning to leave legacy if we don't engage the young scholars and doctoral students to help them understand what we do, what has been done? One priority of what SAPA's initiative, which is about global origins of governance and public administration initiative, is creating a platform for cross-regional scholarship, comparative research, and intergenerational mentorship. This could make a big difference if we do it right between sections, between regions, and see how we can now expand and grow. I think if we do that, it will strengthen our collaboration across region and across the whole world.
Great, thank you very much. I see the two speakers actually shared a lot of common the suggestions, of course, that regional collaboration, but at the same intergenerational mentorship, and also practical versus academia. So yeah, we brought a lot of solutions from here, Asian Association, also section of ASPA, the focusing on Africa, but we have other associations beyond. Also, we have multiple memberships as well. So we have about less than 10 minutes left, but the remaining session, I will open the floor and your comments and what you could suggest and from your experience. Before we go, and I would like to invite probably some of other continents, could probably, if I may, Pyupyeong or the Anna or Cecile, if you have any opinion from AirMap experience, if you could share, please. Could you give the floor to them? Thank you.
Yeah, I am the president of AirMap, the French-speaking association of researcher in public administration. And our experience, we have developed numerous collaboration with various partners in Africa with different associations, in Asia with only CAPA, and of course with North America with Canada, and in America with ASPA, American Society of Public Administration, in order to promote the exchange of experience, to strengthen the international research network, and also maybe the most important, to develop shared knowledge on public sector transformation and on key issue or question for us, that is to say, the democratic values, the introduction of AI, and so on. And for us, this partnership encourage comparative research, and we work with a researcher of KIPA, for example, in the previous years. And we want to help scholars and policy makers in French-speaking countries to better understand the emerging trends, and of course, to anticipate future challenges and support long-term public sector planning. And to accomplish this aim, we have developed a lot of publication, and I thank Annie Bartoli, the editor-in-chief of JMP, Gestion and Management Public, and I am the editor-in-chief of RAMAP, the Review African on Management Public, for French-speaking countries, and we want to work again and more with you, with CAPA, an old partnership, and very important for us. But I think it's a great opportunity to compare the different situation with the different values, with the different democratic system. I think China is very different from France and so on. That is my point of view. Maybe, Annie, do you want to complete?
Thank you very much, Pierre. I totally agree with what Pierre was saying right now. I just would like to add maybe some general thinking after listening to all of your presentations, and thank you very much, Bogt, for giving us the opportunity to discuss this very important topic. And when listening to all what you said and also what Pierre was just mentioning right now, I have noted a list of the multiple bridges that we have to build all together to promote the values, the public values in general, and the new the updated ways to face those questions in the era of transition and disruptions. And just let me tell you what I have noted, and maybe I forgot a few that you could, of course, add. We have to build bridges between countries, of course, and between continents, as well as you mentioned, and as Pierre was just saying it. We have to build bridges between disciplines. We speak about public administration, we speak about public management, we speak about public economics, we speak about so many, and we speak about technologies, engineering, philosophy. So there are so many disciplines that could contribute to our purpose. We have to build bridges between generations. I was very impressed by your question. As a young student, you were asking questions so relevant to our generations of professors. That's great. That's a wonderful example. And we have to build bridges between generations. We have to build bridges between public and private stakeholders. It was the one of the purposes of our presentation with Cécile yesterday, to deal with public stakes also. I mean, it's not only a question of public governance, it's also, or public actors, it's also a question of everyone, including the private sector. We have to build bridges between research and teaching, okay? We have to, of course, implement research to create new knowledge about what we are doing and what we are facing, but we also have to learn how to train in a different way and to bridge those aspects. And we also have to build bridges, and all this is just what you said, and I noted all this, between leaders and between simple members, simple users, and of course simple in a figurative way, and last but not least, between scholars and between practitioners. So there are so many bridges to build. It could be something overwhelming when you think about it, but if we want to be optimistic, or if we want to be more positive, and if we want to be pragmatic, we must keep in mind that each little step toward building and activating one of these bridges is great, is good. And we have this responsibility as scholars also to encourage this. And so thank you very much for the CAPA organization for giving us the one opportunity to discuss this and to think about it more deeply.
Thank you very much from the view from the France and also European continent. But I know the Roger Mirabella, Professor Mirabella and Mary Guy strongly involved in ASPA, also the nonprofit section, also former leadership of ASPA, and also Arnova, which is actually US-based public administration and also nonprofit civil society. If you have any final comments from your view, please feel free to suggest your views as well. And I know we run out of time, but I just kind of, as the discretion of the chair, I want to extend some time, maybe 5 more minutes, we'll close our session. Thank you.
I just want to agree with you around the connection between scholars and practitioners, because we have to just stop thinking that we could do these things in our ivory towers and not talk to the people who are on the ground. And I think that Gideon talked about that as well, that we definitely need to make the connection between scholars and practitioners. I also think we need to really be careful. We were having this conversation, I happen to be on the National Council of ASPA right now, and they were talking about connections between ASPA and Latin America and ASPA and here and ASPA and that. And we just need to be cautious that when we create these connections that we don't do more Western imposition on the rest of the world, because that's what got us in this mess in the first place, right? Because we don't, I still don't think we pay enough homage to indigenous ways of knowing and other ways of knowing that are not Western. And so I just want to have a cautionary tale about that. Mary?
Thank you very much. And Kai.
Yeah, I mean, I just double what everyone has said. We are each so different and each so similar, and we just have to own this. But we live in a global community, and we can learn from one another. We learn from one another's successes, and we learn from one another's failures. That's true individually, and that's true nation to nation to nation. And this is the value of our professional associations, that it brings us together. It sets the stage for these kinds of conversations. And then all of us go back and we talk to all of our colleagues, and we spread the word. It's a long, slow, gentle process, but it is exactly what we need to be doing.
Thank you very much. Final call is that any comments you have, it's not, we don't have any time to answer, but final comments from all other audience. If you have anything, comments, please raise your hand. We'll collect all comments together. Thank you.
I would just want to emphasize one thing, and I mean, I really enjoyed the ideas and also the comments. But the practicality of it is that if you want to establish more intercontinental collaboration, you need resources. And I think that the reality is that public administration as a field has not been good in leveraging resources from especially science foundations. There's reason for that, but I think I want to give one specific example as food for thought. The ERC, the European Research Council. Many European public administration scholars have successfully applied for funding from the ERC. Almost all those projects have been comparative between European countries, and that has really enabled European research integration. So I would really recommend the associations to also think about what type of funding possibilities are there for more collaboration, and basically provide the tools to train scholars to apply for those more bigger grants. That could really help. Thank you.
Great point. Thank you, Bert. That's a really important part. Any other comments? Yes, please. James Sabajaki.
Yeah, I just would like to echo what Professor Bert George said, because sometimes the challenge is that if the Global South associations depend on global support from the Global North, it comes with colonial tendencies. And that has been a challenge, just like Rosian said. So we got to figure out how do we take advantage of local philanthropies or philanthropies at the continental level. Almost every continent has a billionaire. We have a lot of business leaders. How do we encourage those leaders to support our causes? It's very, very important so that we don't end up always looking up to the global north for support. So we have to break those colonial tendencies. It's almost in every discipline, and that is not helping us. So that will be my take. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Professor Shipangchu, you want to add something? Thank you.
Yeah, Bert, you raised a very important question about fundraising for our public administration society. So very important thing, because everyone is shortage of resources, and especially for fundings. But maybe for our public administration society, we must prove our value for the society, and then we can get the feedback from the the society. For example, does our teaching valuable for our students, especially currently in America? Last year's ASPAS conference theme is civil servants are still how to say, still usable, something like that. What is that? Because they are thinking that all public managers will be replaced by robot. And last year, because this theme was designed by the year of 2024, but early last year, the Musk's Dodge initiative lay off a lot of public servants. Therefore, the crisis of public administration schools in America they face is no students would like to study in public administration or MPAs. So that's a very important crisis for American public administration schools. So another thing is our research. How to prove our research, public administration research, is valuable for society, for our government, and then they are willing to sponsor us to do our research. That's the feedback. Positive feedback is very important. So this is my thinking about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Shipangchu. And then final remarks of the Gideon, final remarks if you have. And then after that, I'll wrap up the session. Thank you.
Thank you all. I want to make a final appeal, because there is a group of the of individuals that we don't really pay attention to. That's why my initiative, SAPA's initiative about starting at least 100 young scholars to be able to be trained, to be connected with seasoned scholars, to mentor them, to pass the baton. We are, with the age, we have to, we will not stay in the field for many years, forever. But starting to mentoring them and be able to make sure now they are on track to take over the research with the agenda we have, the initiative that we have started to ensure that we are leaving a legacy. That's something that we need to focus on, as far as, if imagine each region of the world identify 100 students each year to train them, to mentor them. It will make a big difference, because now we have a succession of young scholars taking over the field. So let's think about that as far as planning and making sure we implement it, because it makes a big difference. Otherwise, we'll be missing the point of succession planning. With the times now to start to initiate that, to start that initiative, to ensure we start to see how it works, and then over time, each region will be able to have its cohort year after year.
Thank you again. Please round of applause to our distinguished panelists. And also thank to yourself for your phenomenal inputs too. Again, thank you, everyone. Thank you. And we have a final session with the OECD, the view on this current issue. It's on remote session in the program. I think it's room 8. I think room 7. Please seminar room 7, join the remote session. Please enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you very much.